asking about Potter, we touched upon this before. Those boos. He looked a little bit upset.
Yeah, completely. And he crossed after the game when we asked him the question, saying like, "What did you make of that?" He said, "Well, I don't have to apologize. I don't have to say sorry for anything I did.
No.
I took this team where it was, and basically saying like, I built this team, and I felt like it was right for me to leave for Chelsea at the offer. I think he wanted. You can't begrudge him for wanting to go to Chelsea, even if it was in September or wherever it was. I don't think. I guess the fans booed him because they felt he let them down or he abandoned them or something. But that's not the way you should see it.
Well, there wasn't a compensation package in excess of £50 million?
Well.
Like not quite Nagelsmann, but like
not far from it.
Not far from it. He's been there. He's done his time. Yeah, I felt sorry for Potter.
I mean, if he'd gone to Crystal Palace, they would have they wouldn't have booed him. They would have thrown.
But that's a direct rival. Yeah, no, obviously.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's Chelsea. It's an upgrade for him.
All right, on to the work that Potter's doing. I made the point that it takes time, that he's different from Tuchel. I also think that this team is just poorly constructed in the summer, poor use of resources. Yeah. And I've had this conversation with Chelsea fans on social media, like, oh, but what are you talking about? Cucurella is great. Manchester City wanted him. It doesn't make him a great player at that number. Yeah. Fofana, right? I remember the first season, we were doing the show here, you're like, oh, Fofana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, then the guy gets injured. Okay, he doesn't play for like a year and a bit. It doesn't mean you're going to go and, the amount they paid for him is the amount that you would have paid for Fofana if he'd been playing great this whole time and fulfilled his potential. Then it would have been a fair price.
Yeah. They overpaid for both of them. Yeah, for sure.
And of course, he's injured again.
Yeah.
Right? Koulibaly with a year left on his contract. I mean, you're going to push the boat out and chuck that kind of money around. Sterling also with a year left on his contract, I might add. When you feel that you're one or two pieces away, right? Then I can go a little mad and say this is going to put me over the top and win the title. I'm guessing that's how Tuchel felt about Chelsea when they were there. He says, I've won the Champions League. Now I need to close the gap on the top. So let me get these kind of signings. I don't care if we lose a lot of money because it'll come back because we're going to win something important. Mm. But that's not where Bowley was at.
No, and
I don't think that's where Bowley thinks he's at now, given he had to get rid of everybody and bring in a whole new bunch of technical directors and recruitment guys, right?
Which, by the way, most of them might think, they might think exactly like you. I don't think this was a good summer transfer window. I think we need to correct it in January. And then what do? You're still left with all the signing that you made in the summer that now this new sort of tactical director team are not keen on. Maybe Potter are not keen on them either. Maybe he wants, younger players than Koulibaly. I think Koulibaly was a great signing to make. And I still hope that he will show it. But maybe Potter thinks I would rather a bunch of 25-year-old people who know already the Premier League than Koulibaly. I don't know. So they might, they go on in January and spend another 150 million to correct what they thought was wrong in the summer?
I don't think Potter necessarily works like that or things like that because he's somebody who's used to, he doesn't get his pick at the supermarket, right? That said, this defense with Fofana and Koulibaly out, my thoughts on Cucurella, especially Cucurella.
And Reece James out as well.
And Reece James out, if you're including the wing backs. But I'm talking about sort of the tight back three, right? You made the point earlier off air that Thiago Silva is playing too much.
I think so.
And it feels like he has started, I don't know the last time he got a break was,
Yeah, I think he did before the United game in midweek. But I looked at him on Saturday and thought he doesn't look as sharp as he should look right now. And at his age, that I fear that he's overplayed him. But maybe you have to play him because you've got
Fofana
Koulibaly, maybe Reece James that you can use in the centre back position.
You could have played Azpilicueta in the back three.
Yeah, true.
And then Azpilicueta, Chalobah, Cucurella back three.
Yeah,
is that where we are now?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean. Exactly.
You surprised Chili's out?
I'm surprised.
This takes us back to the wing backs.
And we go back to Sterling, Pulisic, nonsense for me. But again, maybe he will keep with Pulisic and Sterling and it will work out. Maybe he just did it to find the right formula like we've explained before. And he's seeing now that it's not the right formula. I just don't know why, unless there's something that we don't know about his fitness, Chilwell's fitness, or he did something wrong at training, or I don't know, he didn't put his tray back at the canteen. But it makes no sense for me that you don't play him more and that you don't play him in a game like that when you knew the opposition would be up for it, that you knew that you would be really at your best to beat this Brighton team. And I think, again, you picked your team wrong. And he came on after an hour, I think, for Cucurella, who was not good again. Let's not forget that this Cucurella that started was the one that he took off after 35 minutes the previous game. So, again, what kind of message you send to your team if you still start the guy that you took off after half an hour the game before because he was dreadful?
I almost feel like this is one of those situations where, you know, if this is Pep Guardiola does it, he's like, oh, he's overthinking, right?
Yeah, maybe.
With Potter, we give him. I don't have a problem. And you know my thoughts on this. I don't have a problem with the manager overthinking.
No, me neither.
But it really does feel like he's going via trial and error to find what he wants. Not because he's a bad manager, but because he just doesn't have the time to go
maybe that's what he has to do.
And work on this. Now, that said, I know you love criticizing managers for when they make substitutions. I'm a bit surprised you're 3-1 down.
Yeah.
And you wait an hour to make your first. Well, obviously he did keep up for Mendy at halftime. That surprised me. The same way it surprised me that he brought, you know, another striker on, Broja, with 10 minutes to go. Why not sooner?
Yeah,
why not mix things up a little?
Yeah, no, I don't know. He said that he felt the second half was better anyway, which I'm not sure. I would have changed a lot of things at halftime, to be fair. Not just the keeper that you had to change because Kepa was injured anyway. But I would have changed a lot of what we saw from the first half. That was, okay, you scored 2 own goals, but I thought there was a lot of negative in that first half. But to then bring on Aubameyang for Sterling after an hour and Chilwell for Cucurella after an hour and then wait until the 80th minute. So it's another 20 minutes to bring on Broja and I can't remember who the fourth substitute. Ziyech, that's it. I was really surprised, I have to say. Really, really surprised.
Were you a bit surprised too that in a game like this, so I'm guessing he feels, okay, in terms of central midfield, if I'm going to have Sterling and I'm going to have sort of my box, right, with Mount and Gallagher forward. We can debate Gallagher another day. Yeah. And Loftus-Cheek and, you know, 2 guys behind.
Kovacic, yeah.
I can't have Jorginho be one of those 2 guys if I have the attacking wing backs in Sterling and Pulisic. Loftus-Cheek is a big fella.
Yeah,
Kovacic, you know, I don't really have a defensive specialist other than Dennis Zakaria, but this poor man I don't think will ever play because,
come on.
you know, that's a whole other issue. At some point, though, when you're 3-1 down, why not get somebody who can pass? I'm not saying Kovacic and Loftus-Cheek can't pass,
but
Loftus-Cheek still, people complain that Jorginho seems slow and weak. I mean, Loftus-Cheek, when he's in that deeper position and he's spreading the ball around, he looks ponderous and predictable.
Yeah.
I mean, Loftus-Cheek is more effective, I think, driving.
Yeah.
Kovacic, we know, is more effective when he's driving.
Yeah, definitely.
It seemed odd that once you've tried that and it hasn't worked. And by the way, there's nobody in your back 3 who can really pass other than Thiago Silva. Wouldn't that be a Jorginho situation?
Yeah,
like you're keeping him fresh for your relevant Champions League game, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I thought against the Brighton press because we knew exactly, and the first goal comes on them recovering the ball super high and Chelsea making a mistake in the build-up play because they were never going to play long all game. I thought Jorginho would have been very, very useful in that, and to not pick him for this game and going for guys who, at times can be press resistant, but not in the way that you need your central midfielder to be for this game, I thought was, again, maybe a mistake.
And you said, we know they're not going to go high, they're not going to go long. And go back to this. If you do play Pulisic and Sterling, and even people who don't like them will admit you, both these guys are very, very fast.
Yeah.
Why not mix it up with a longer pass, right? Especially when you have Kepa back there who's good with his feet, right?
Yeah, no, completely.
And Thiago Silva. I mean, it's not a crime, right? We see the Ederson Sterling connection, or back when he was at City. And that seemed kind of odd to me as well. It's almost as if maybe the players are so preoccupied with incorporating his concepts that maybe they make fewer decisions for themselves. I don't know what it is, but
no, I don't know.
It would have been a very logical change of pace, no?
Yeah, I thought so, and I think they didn't use enough the the width of the pitch to use both Pulisic and Sterling, and I just think that defensively they were always going to struggle, and Pulisic struggled more on his right-hand side, Brighton left-hand side, because Estupiñán was always going to attack and it's got more pace than Gross, who played on the other side. So Sterling, I think, was a bit more okay. But I just don't understand when you know you're going to play against this Brighton side with an Estupiñán super attacking, or even Solly March on the other side, and then you still put Pulisic and Sterling as your wing backs, thinking, what, they're going to defend? Really? They're not going to leave space in behind them?
I'm guessing maybe the thinking was that they're going to attack so well and they're going to play high up the pitch, and effectively they're going to play on the same line as when you have the ball anyway. They're going to play on the same line as Havertz, actually.
Oh, maybe Havertz, yeah.
That you're going to pin Estupiñán and March back. The problem is you can pin Estupiñán back, but then when you turn the ball over, Estupiñán's just going to take off, and all it means is he's got more ground to cover, which means he's just going to pick up pace. That's the part which you struggle with.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.